Hey. Welcome back to the Gregory Nesmith Show, where we get personal about the news and the culture. And to take you on that journey every week, you have your host, Gregory. That would be me, entrepreneur, business consultant, leadership coach, content creator, a bunch of stuff. But when it's all said and done, I just like to shorthand it and just say I'm into spreading special stuff. I'm into fighting for underdogs to rediscover how special we are in this world as we go from underdogs to champs. I value authenticity, curiosity, and creativity. And I'm grateful to be able to express myself, connect with you, we connect with each other as this radio show and podcast and article series and TV shows are just one of the ways that I get to do that, and I'm grateful for that. And then, we can throw in all the titles and stuff like that, but in the end, I'm just up for spreading some special stuff, and thank you for allowing me and us and you to do it together. Always appreciate the energy in the comments, and we get them, read on the show and then featured in the podcast, because this underdog thing it's not just about us as individuals going from underdogs to champs and rediscovering how special we are. It's about also supporting other underdogs along the way. Ain't no fun if the homies can't have none, right? We don't want to do this alone. We want other folks to come along on the journey with us. And speaking of going on the journey, a lot of folks start the year on the journey called the New Year, New Me. New me, new year. How many of y'all ever heard that phrase? New year, new me. Well, recently I wrote an article called Your Mama, Therapy, and 2018 Failed Resolutions. And I wrote it because at the start of every year, there's a lot of things on my mind, and New Year's resolutions is not, I repeat, is not one of them. Because I've learned I'm not really ready most of the time to become a new me just because it's January 1st. I don't have on-demand new me powers. If you have them, great. Salute to you. You're special. Maybe you're an alien. Maybe you just not like the rest of us. And cool. But me, a calendar doesn't necessarily dictate where I'm at in my life. And I know it doesn't for you. And you want to know how I know? Because I got some inside information. U.S. News and World Reports issued a study that said 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February. Done. Finito. Out of here. Kaput. Gone. Your new year, new you is dead. It's done. Bye. You were all into it, too. Had all these ideas. And this is some of the top 5 New Year's resolutions that Americans were into to start the year. Eat healthier, get more exercise, focus on self-care, read more, make new friends. Those were some of the top New Year's resolutions. And guess what? 80% of them done already before Black History Month is over. Before the shortest month of the year is over, done. And then another 10% or so will be done before the end of the year, and only 10% or so of New Year's resolutions make it. Which is why, for those who regularly listen to this show, which is why you haven't heard me talk about what my New Year's resolutions are in any episode yet this year. And you might be going, Gregory, what is wrong with you? You said the show's about politics, about culture, but it's supposed to be about personal development too. How we going to develop personally? You're not talking about the new year, new me. What are your resolutions? I want to share mine. You want to share yours? No! I don't want to talk about them because most of them was going to fail anyway. But I did promise I would talk about it later, like now. And I'll talk about it some more in March when I think folks are really ready to get right. Figure out what's been getting in the way. So one of the things I realized is that, for one, I'm no longer going to let the calendar mess me up. So I'm done with the calendar being the lead as to when I am going to evolve or create a new list of things that I want to accomplish. Because it hasn't worked for me. And guess what? For 80% of folks, it hasn't worked either. Or at least it's done working by now because most of those resolutions are finito. So I wanted to share in the article called Your Mama, Therapy, and 2018 Failed Resolution. I wanted to share what are 3 things that I've learned from me personally, that I've learned from other underdogs along their journey of how they rediscovered how special they are, how they've gone from underdog to champ. What do they do before they even do New Year's resolutions? And so I thought about my own experiences, about yours, ours, what we've been going through, and I found 3 things that can get us right before we start this whole new year, new me, and pick some of those resolutions that I read off that already 80% of them you failed at anyway already by now. And I'm going to tell you what those 3 are. And right now, we're talking about Your Mama, Therapy, and 2008 Failed Resolutions, my latest article that you can find on LinkedIn. Search Gregory Nesmith. And I talk about the fact that 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by now, by February. And that I committed to you underdogs out there that I would not talk about New Year's resolutions till at least February, March, because I know or knew folks would be just a little bit more interested in talking about this now that most of the resolutions have failed. So now we can get to business here. We can make it really happen. And so my personal story and what I've learned from others about the new year, new me, how to really rediscover how special we are, how to get ourselves right, to add to the things we want to accomplish in the world, that New Year's resolutions on January 1st often is not the best plan to go from underdog to champ. So I came up with 3 things to do before you do your New Year's resolutions to help maybe not have 80% of them fail. And so the first thing to do, first step to do to New Year's resolutions, or to do before you do New Year's resolutions, is this. Is there a doctor in the house? Is there a doctor in the house? Why have you gone so long without seeing your doctor? How long has it been? And hey, let me be very clear here. I'm not about to be that brother that throws stones from a glass house. I've been that dude who hasn't gone to see my primary care doctor to get my annual checkup and my physical. I've gone at times longer than I should, gaps in between checking up on my health. But I'm just saying, the first step before you do New Year's resolutions, the first step to not have 80% of them fail is there a doctor in the house? When's the last time you seen your doctor? As Michelle Obama said, we need to do a better job of putting ourselves higher on our own to-do list. Because let's just be very clear here. Ain't a single new you, new me, new resolution happening if you don't have your health. Go get your checkup. And not just with your doctor, go to your dentist and your eye doctor too. Make sure you can see things. Make sure you can even see the list. You don't see your eye doctor, you can't even read the list that you're trying to write for your New Year's resolution. Is there a doctor in the house? That's one of the 3 things to do before you even get into the business of thinking about writing some New Year's resolutions. New me, new you, new year. Next up, remix your to-do list. What do I mean by that? First of all, I like the word remix. I just wish I could use it in more storytelling and sentences, but the remix, but remix your to-do list. And what I mean by that is the 3 C's, what I call, what are you going to cut out of your life? What are you going to complete in your life? And what are you going to continue in your life? Because I used to be out here trying to write a new list on January 1st, and I didn't even figure out what I wanted to cut. Like, before I start writing about I want to be in better shape, I need to cut out some of these fried foods and eating desserts with every meal. How about I cut that out first before I start adding new stuff to the list? Complete. I've shared this before. Sometimes I can be a little challenged when it comes to taking care of some of the administrative things. Some of the more things I consider mundane, like my taxes. I still got to do my taxes. So before I write a New Year's resolution list in 2018 about how I'm going to be smarter with money, or I'm going to do this with money, how about I complete my taxes? What have you not completed yet? You want to be adding to the list, and you got stuff that you didn't even complete off your last list. And then under this idea of remixing your list, and I talk about the 3 C's, what am I going to cut out of my life? What am I going to complete? So I got to cut out some fried foods. I'm going to complete my taxes before I start writing about new financial resolutions. But also, what am I going to continue? And I think this is the one right here where folks get all messed up. Because I can make a point that for some of you out there, you should have the same resolution year after year after year after year. Think about Kevin Durant, one of my favorite ball players. One of his resolutions, I'm sure, was to win an NBA title, be a champion. And it took him 9 years to do it. So I'm almost certain for the past 9 years, he had the same resolution. Do what it takes to be a champion. And in the snacking world we live in, where everything is quick, everything's in the palm of our hands, everything is snack away at this. A bit of information, a bit of a relationship, a bit of a conversation, a bit of a text. Snack away. We snack so bad that now, think about Instagram. They got Insta stories, 15 seconds. We have now gotten to a point in our life where even 15 seconds is too long. And you know how I know? Because it happens to me. I can be watching an Insta story and about 7 seconds in, I'm like, yo, they need to wrap this up. We want to microwave things. Folks get out of college, they think they got a degree called CEO. The degree didn't say CEO on it. You got to do some stuff first before you become a CEO. You got to work. And so, of the 3 C's in remixing the to-do list, yeah, you got to cut some stuff. Yeah, you got to complete some stuff. But before you add some new stuff to your list, how about you figure out what you're going to continue? How many people like to Netflix and chill? It took Netflix 13 years to knock off Blockbuster. The same resolution for 13 years. And you over here trying to write a new list, and you still got a bunch of stuff to continue. I tried to add a TV show to my list for this year. And then I realized I still got to continue becoming the best radio host and podcast host I can. I still got a show to do. This show only started November 2016. How about I continue to host the Gregory Nesmith show and get personal about the news and the culture? How about that? Because I ain't done yet. The goal is to take the show nationally and then globally. And so I still got work to do. What am I adding to my list for? What are you adding to your list for? You had a goal to lose a certain amount of weight last year. Why are you adding to your list? How about you finish that goal? You had a goal to get a new job last year. How come you're adding to the list and you haven't gotten your new job yet? Not everything can happen in 12 months. Shoot, not everything can happen in 15 seconds on an Insta story either. So that's number 2. Things that have helped my New Year's resolutions work out instead of having 80% of them fail by February. One is go see your doctor. Because if I ain't healthy, I can't do sugar honey iced tea. And secondly, remix your to-do list. What are you going to cut, complete, and continue? You might not even need to add anything to your list. Kevin Durant didn't need to add anything to his list. He was still trying to become an NBA champion for 9 years. Netflix didn't add anything new to his list. Every year for 13 years, it's like, how are we going to knock off Blockbuster and be number one? Amazon didn't add anything to the new to his list. How are we going to knock off Walmart and all these other online retailers and be number one? I bet you got things you should continue before you add anything to your list. And then lastly, of the 3 things to do to have more of your New Year's resolutions work out, more of the new year, new you, more of the how do you continue to evolve and rediscover how special you are and go from underdog to champ. There's 3 things. And the third thing I've learned to do before I do new resolutions is to not call my mama. Yeah, I said it, not call my mama. Because it's time for you to help your mama. Time for you to help your mama and them. And when I mean them, I mean your dad, your siblings, your best friend, your neighbors, your co-workers, your pastor, your bartender, your hairdresser, all those folks. Help them. Help your mama and them by going to get some professional support in your life. And now hopefully it makes sense why I called the article Your Mama Therapy and Failed 2018 Resolutions. Because instead of calling your mama or some of your loved ones or your mama and them, how about you get some professional support? If your car breaks down, you don't call your mom to fix it. I mean, unless she's a mechanic. You're having trouble with your taxes. You don't call your uncle. Well, I mean, you shouldn't, unless he's an accountant. And if you're having mental or emotional challenges in your life, not because you're crazy, but because you're human, you shouldn't call your mama or your uncle only, unless they're a therapist or a coach. You should get some professional help. I mean, we get it for everything else. Your mama ain't teaching the Zumba class you go to. Your mama ain't doing your taxes. When your hair is funky and you need a haircut or a trim, you ain't calling your mama. When you're trying to figure out how to get that presentation done at your job, you ain't calling your mama. You're getting professional help. And I'm not saying to not call your pastor or your mama and them. I'm saying in addition to the love and support that they provide, professional help, like a therapist or a coach, can help you figure out how to get things back on track, how to keep things on track, or how to create a new track. And also have a place where you can freely express yourself. Because as Sheryl Sandberg once said, everybody needs more support than they are getting. And then shout out to the Buddha who says, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. And for those out there who are like, yo, therapists cost a lot of money. I get that. Finances are always a consideration. Most of us aren't made of money. I'm not made of money, neither are you. But don't let money be the reason that you don't make this of the 3 things to do before you get New Year's resolutions in place. Don't make money be the reason why you don't. There's many therapy options available that cost little to no money. You can go to a training clinic, community mental health clinic, group therapy, Also, try to access potential resources you might have at your place of work or at school. But get the help that you want so that you can lay a solid foundation for new resolutions you make or the old ones that you continue. And those are the three things that we get to do to set ourselves up for success this year. And I'm going to see my doctor. Is there a doctor in the house? I'm going to do my resolution inventory and remix my resolution list. Look what I'm going to cut, continue, and complete. And I'm going to see a therapist. Let's rediscover our special stuff in 2018 and go from underdogs to champs. And as always, we've come to the end of the road here. We do this every Sunday from noon to 2 p.m. with the help of underdogs who call in, with the help of underdogs that let their fingers do the talking on the Facebook Live, and then also just the energy I can feel from those who like to listen on 90.3 FM on their radio dials or on www.whcr.org on the internet, or those who checked in on the Instagram Live earlier. Appreciate all of you. So thank you, underdogs, for coming on the journey again. Thank you to all our KISS listeners and Facebook Live comments. Shout out to Megan, my producer, who helps me get all the information together and all the clips ready. This show wouldn't happen without the work she does behind the scenes. Shout out to Kayla, my editor, who makes the podcast sound as good as it does and also does the edits for the video that goes up on YouTube. Shout out to Kayla for all that she does to make the show sound and look good. And as always, if you missed any of the live show, it's available as a podcast. And I normally put the podcast out on Monday, on Thursday, and Saturday of each week. It's some of the best of what happened on Sundays. And it's available on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Podomatic, Stitcher, all the places you love to listen and or watch podcasts. And shout out to all of you who've been downloading the show. We're in the top 50 on Podomatic in the society and culture category out of thousands of podcasts. And that's because of you. And I'm grateful. And so with that, we've come to the end of the road here. And I think if you've ever listened before, I think you know what I'm about to say. Because I'm going to end the show like I end every show with my favorite quote. And that is, and say it along with me if you know what I'm about to say, underdogs, can't nobody, and I mean nobody, do it like you do it. Nobody. Peace.